bulletin, you know that the top title is What Do You Think? What do you think? What do you think? Day after day after day after day, they're saying that we think about 10,000 thoughts every day, and about 9,000 of them are the same. So it's no wonder that change is slow in coming. But change is possible, yes? Yes, this is a good thing. So, we're moving into, I think, tomorrow is International Peace Day. And to me, it's always about peace within my own heart. I believe peace within our own hearts is possible. It's something that's possible for us to experience, regardless of the outer conditions. I think that peace on our planet is possible once that we have mastered the peace within ourselves. That it's an opportunity for us to let go of judgments and false beliefs about ourselves and about each other, and stand in that place of love. I'm looking out into several faces out here, and all I see is answered prayer. Do you know God still answers prayers? Yes. Yeah, somebody might have came here today with a heavy heart, very doubtful, because I know that every day I have to remind myself that love is present here. Love is present right where I am. And it's an intelligence, it's an activity, it's a power, it's a presence that operates on my behalf, on the behalf of the whole of us. That no matter what is going on, there is an energy back of it, an intelligence back of everything that knows what to do and when to do it and how to do it. And it is not conspiring against me, but it is asking me to surrender unto it so that I could be the best me that I can be. Yes? This was not my sermon. Let me get on. But and so I want to talk to you today. So all you have to do is just keep saying yes to those, those illuminations, to those things that make your teeth itch, as Reverend Georgia says, that makes you scary, that makes you doubt your faith in your own ability, that makes you doubt the faith in your fellow man, that makes you doubt the faith in humanity that you want to place upon it. But you don't have to, but life gets much more fun and rich when you choose to step in faith, because your faith is what draws the invisible into the visible, that allows new possibilities to emerge. Just the faith within your heart can change the entire planet, can shift any relationship, can allow healing to happen for yourself or someone else. Just the faith in your own heart. So I'm talking about peace today. And I was looking at some of the barriers to this internal peace, because I don't know who said it, but I see it every time Tanya Beverly sends me an email. At the bottom it says, if you were robbed of your happiness, it was probably an inside job. And so what I have come to become aware of is that peace is my responsibility. It's my gift. It's my birthright. And there is a peace that the world doesn't source, but that is not influenced or diminished by any personality or any condition. It is stable. It is an eternal reality of mine. And there are barriers that stop me from experiencing this peace or allowing this peace to flow through me. And when that peace stops, so does my surrender. When that peace stops, so does my listening. When that peace stops, I'm not very nice. You know what I mean? Yeah. So we're going to go to the first barrier, complaining. I want you to look at your neighbor and say, complaining is not an action step. Okay, because I think we think when we're complaining. Okay, y'all. It kind of resonates, I think we think when we complain. I think we think. I'm putting this all together. That sometimes we think complaining is an action step. But it's doing nothing. It's doing nothing but diminishing our experience of ourselves. There is the Serenity Prayer. You guys know the Serenity Prayer? Well, good. Say it with me. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, courage to change the things I can, and wisdom to know the difference. Somebody said, change it, leave it, accept it, or forget about it. God, grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change. That's kind of like, doesn't make any sense from a metaphysical point of view. Because things are at the bottom. They're not causal. There is nothing that we have to accept that is the finality of it. Unless we're accepting that the finality of it is good. If it's something other than good, then maybe the only thing that has to be changed is my outlook. Back at complaining. Yes? When we're complaining, we're not accepting the perfection of the moment. We are in question that the universe really is intelligent, that it really does know what it's doing, that we are safe. And we're questioning even if we're one with all that is. Courage to change the things I can. Well, we all know what that is, right? Ourselves. And why do we ask for courage? Why do we ask for courage? Because it's hard? Or because it's scary? Because sometimes I think, I can't change. I mean, you wake up in the morning and you're going to change. That one thing, you're going to take dominion over it. And before you get your feet on the floor, it's like, well, that was lofty. Yeah? But courage to be different, to be true to who we are. Courage to change the things I can, to change me. Who's that? I think that's Lisa who says, bless him, change me. Bless him, change me. The courage to change. Because if I need courage to change because I have to become vulnerable. I have to admit that there's something I need to let go of. I have to admit that I don't want to accept 100% responsibility. I have to admit that I have a lot of payoffs here. But it's only when and if I'm willing to change that there can be a change. And the change cannot be a superficial change, like lose 10 pounds. Okay? We still trying, though. It can't be a superficial change. It has to be a change in consciousness. That means I really have to forgive. It means I really have to accept responsibility for the way my life goes. It means I really have to tell the truth and tell it quickly. It means I really have to honor myself in the fullness of who I am. And the wisdom to know the difference. The wisdom to know that I don't ever work with the effect. That's the wisdom. When I see myself struggling with the effect, with the condition, trying to change the person, I know that I'm out of principle. And that's what we work with here, yes? The wisdom to know the difference. And that wisdom is sourced from within. So complaining, when you find yourself complaining this week, what do you tell yourself? Complaining is not an action step. It's not going to change anything. But there's power within me to change everything about my life. It's at my disposal here and now. Here's your little story. A friend of mine lives on the coast of Florida, a few miles from Kennedy Space Center. I told him it must be fun watching the space shuttle launches and going to the beach all the time. I never go to the beach, he replied. I don't even go outside my house to watch the space shuttle launch. You're kidding me. Why? I asked. I've seen them so many times, it's no big deal. When we see the same blessings every day, we eventually stop noticing them. When we stop noticing, we quit appreciating. When we quit appreciating, we stop thanking. When we stop thanking, we start complaining. Now, what I just noticed here was it's a process. We can stop ourselves at any time. So by the time we got to complaining, we have stopped noticing, we stopped appreciating. We're just taking things for granted. Like the wonder in this day. To wake up every day, as Wayne Dyer said, and say, thank you. Thank you for life. Thank you for my body. Thank you for my friends and family who love me and who I love. And thank you, most importantly, for this opportunity to be of service. When you find yourself complaining, simply shift into gratitude. Meister Eckhart said, if thank you is the only prayer you ever say, it is sufficient. The next barrier, blaming. Well, I know that's nobody in here. Nobody in here. What do I want to say about blaming? It's so disempowering. Because blaming means that the power, somebody else has the power. And not only did they have it before, but they still got it. Which means that you're not able to do anything. But it's built upon a premise that is false. Because all power is within. Yes? And even if I try to give it away, I can't. Even if I try to give it away, I can't. Because it still remains my own creation. So that moves me right to the next one, self-criticism. Because then we say, oh my God, I keep doing that. Why do I keep doing that? I'm never going to get this right. Louise Hay says, you've been criticizing yourself for years and it hasn't worked. Try approving of yourself and see what happens. Self-criticism. That's how we feel ourselves. We feel ourselves with doubt and fear and inadequacy, belief in inadequacy. It's what we tell ourselves. And it's a barrier to our peace. It's a barrier to our light shining. Because how can you be a bright light when you say, you're not good enough to be a bright light? And starting this moment, if your only mantra is, I am enough. I am enough. And recognizing that I am presence is not the mini me, but that there is a power and a presence, an intelligence and an activity within you that we call the I am. And understanding what enough means, having the quantity, the quality, the scope to fully satisfy any demand placed upon it. Whatever you need from the I am, it can source it. It can be that source of self-confidence, that healing agency. I am whole. It is that source of wholeness. I am. What did you come or tell yourself this morning that you are not? And just shine the light on it. I am love. I am lovable. I am creative genius. Somebody said the other day, I am sexy. Yes. But then we look in the mirror, oh, I need to lose 10 pounds. Oh, look right there. Oh, look. Look at that radiant being of light. Because all that we really are is consciousness. And we're seeking to shine that, are we not? Yes, yes, yes. And so the fourth of those barriers to our own peace is criticism of others. I got a cute story here for you. Go like this. Very good. A man and his wife once pulled into a gas station to refuel their car. As the tank was being filled, the station attendant washed the windshield. When he finished, the driver of the car said, "The windshield is still dirty. Wash it again." "Yes, sir," the attendant answered. As he scrubbed the windshield a second time, he looked closely for any bugs or dirt he might have missed. When he finished, the man in the car became angry. "It's still dirty!" He yelled, "Don't you know how to wash a windshield? Do it again." The attendant cleaned the windshield a third time, carefully looking for any place he might have missed, but could find no messy spots anywhere. By now, the driver was fuming. He screamed, "This windshield is filthy. I'm going to talk to your boss to make sure you don't work here another day. You are the lousiest windshield washer I have ever seen." As he was about to get out the car, his wife reached over and removed his glasses. She carefully wiped them with a tissue, then put them back on his face. The driver embarrassingly slumped down into a seat as he observed a spotless windshield. So do that again. When you're ready to criticize someone this week, what you gonna do? Okay? What is obscuring me from seeing the truth? Because the truth is, love is all there is. Good is all there is. I live in a universe of plenitude. Harmony reigns and governs my affairs. Yes? Yes. So, all week long. Yes? Okay, let's see what we have next. Oh. I want to talk for a few, whatever. I want to stick with criticism for a moment because it's one of the ways that we close our heart with justification. And we're really never justified to close our hearts. I'm not saying put yourself in an unsafe situation. But I'm saying love is the only answer. And we look to the master teacher, the universe, who never judges, which never condemns, which never says, "No more air for you." You know, the universe just, walking along and, the earth is not there anymore. There's no judgment or condemnation in the universe that we live in. There's only compassion. There's only caring and love. And so the moment that we're tempted to criticize, compassion is seeking to emerge. And we get to choose. We get to choose to allow that presence of compassion to be a healing agency, to say we are one, that I see the beauty in you. I see your light. There's a story about the girl. I read it, I think, on Facebook. One of my vices. So, but she said, she met this guy and they were dating, and every time they got in the car, he would just wave. He'd wave at people he knew. He'd wave at people he didn't know. And she was like, why do you wave at somebody? He said, I read one time where somebody was going to attempt suicide. And they said somebody waved at them. Somebody noticed them. And it changed their mind. Compassion in action. You don't have to just be a healing presence. Just be a healing presence. Amen? Amen. The coulda, shoulda, woulda. Oh, my God. Someone said we were not born shooting on ourselves. That means it's an acquired habit, yes? Just remind yourself, coulda, shoulda, woulda is not an action step. It's not going to change anything. In fact, it's going to keep you bound to the past in a uncomfortable situation, in an uncomfortable reference to yourself. It's a way that you get to diminish your journey and the power that you have in the present moment. Yes? So, we're not going to do that this week, right? Coulda, woulda, shoulda. Take the back seat. What did Jesus say? Get thee behind me, Satan. Because I have things to do, and I still have the ability, the power right now to create what I think that thing could have done. My power is never diminished. My choice, my opportunity to choose is always in the present moment. And to make a new choice, someone said action is what's that word? Empowering. Action is, sometimes your only action could be a prayer. Yes? But sometimes when we get stuck, all we have to remember is, what action step can I take today? What action step can I take today? The last one is envy. Envy comes, Jean Vanier said, envy comes from people's ignorance of or lack of belief in their own gifts. I know for me it's not so much a lack ignorance of my own gifts, but it's believing that they got more of it than I do. You know, it's kind of hard not to be envious of Beyonce, right? Or LeBron James. You know what I'm saying? Well, maybe you don't. I mean, I know I'm the only one in here that has experienced moments of envy. It's also another way that I tell myself that I'm less than. It's another way that I say that I'm unworthy. It's another way that I say, I can't. It's impossible. They can, but I can't. It's another way I experience separation. It's another way I just stop letting love flow. It's another way I stop experiencing peace. So, when you find yourself complaining, you're going to shift to thanksgiving or gratitude. When you find yourself blaming, you're going to shift to accepting responsibility. When you find yourself criticizing or condemning yourself, you're going to shift to self-love, self-acceptance, and self-realization of who I am. When you find yourself criticizing others, shift to compassion. When you find yourself coulda, woulda, shoulda, shift to what is it I want to create. And when you find yourself in envy, shift to love. Paul the Apostle wrote a letter to the Corinthians in the old day, but I find it still is true. What do you think? What do you fill your mind with? What does it take to change consciousness, to be established in a consciousness of peace? He wrote, finally, whatever is true, whatever is honorable, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is of good report, if there is any excellence, and if anything worthy of praise, dwell on these things. If there is anything, whatever is true, and we're talking about a capital T here, that which is, as you contemplate it, it is true because it is the nature of God true. That love is present here. That whenever you find yourself in fear, that what is true is that love is present here. I don't care what it looks like. I don't care what it feels like, because I bring it. I am it. What is true? Truth always transcends the facts. It always transcends the facts. So it doesn't matter what your bank account is. Our Father in heaven is rich, right? God is my health. It doesn't matter what the diagnosis is. When you come to the truth and recognize there is an infinite intelligence sourcing your body from the top of your head to the soles of your feet. Truth. Dwell upon the truth this week. I live in a universe of plenitude. Harmony in all of my relationships. To dwell upon that which is noble. I had to ask myself, when was the last thing I dwelt upon noble? Because we get so caught up in the little things. In the little things. In the things that take our attention and distract us from being the very best self we want to realize. Don't you ever watch those athletes or, somebody who's doing something phenomenal and something within you just kind of celebrates with them and resonates with them? Because it's universal. It's within us all. It's in every one of us. Dwell upon something noble, to lift your thoughts to that place, that vibration of love and peace, whatever is pure. Not in a moral kind of way, but what is unadulterated. To take the limits off, to get the butts out of the way. That which is pure. That's a quantum leap in consciousness, to dwell upon what is pure, what the possibilities, the infinite possibilities for each of our lives are, for our children, for our friends and our families, for those we love and those we don't even know, to hold the earth as balanced. We have the power. This is who we are as we walk on this planet. To be able to use our imagination and our will in a creative way that brings forth harmony, that brings forth, we can bring it forth now. Whatever is of good report, if there is any excellence, because as we focus on excellence, we're drawn up to it. We become it. Anything praiseworthy, Look for the good. Look for it. Even in the room of manure, look for the good because it's there. It's there. And you know what? We have the ability to transform energy, to change hate into love. Don't we? Yes. Am I saying anything you don't know? But it's good to be reminded, ain't it? Yes, how powerful and power-filled we are. That we're not alone, that we're unified with a power and a presence and an intelligence. That peace is our divine birthright, and there's nothing that should disturb us, get us off of that. And that we always have the ability to move back to it. Amen? Let's take this into prayer. Just so grateful for this day. So grateful. So grateful for each person here. Grateful for every place where love is shared and truth is taught. Grateful. Grateful for insight, for revelation, for clarity. Grateful for the shift in consciousness. Grateful for the love that envelops us, that we live and move and breathe and have our being in. Grateful for the divine connection, our invisible link to the all good, to the all powerful, the all loving, the all wise, the all knowing. Grateful. Grateful for our children, for our elders, for our services. Grateful for the sun that shines, that warms us all. Grateful for the rain that falls. Grateful for this